Hello, Knockouts. Tonya TKO here, and I am a self-love specialist from TonyaTko.com. I help you learn how to love yourself and each other. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments for dating and relationships in our own lives. And this video came highly requested from my knockouts. So if there's a video that you want me to do a reaction or review to, make sure that you send it to me on my website, TonyaTKO.com/contact. And so basically, we're going to be talking about Steve Harvey today. Again. Just wait till you see the foolishness that he's up to now. So the title of this video is how to stay in a marriage after cheating. All right, let's give it a review.
Me and my husband have been married for a year. We have 2 boys and another baby on the way. And Jeff has cheated on me before.
Hold on. I got to rewind that. I seem to find out bullshit with him.
Me and my husband have been married for a year. We have 2 boys and another baby on the way. And Jeff has cheated on me before. Not to mention that the last relationships that I've had in the past, I've always been cheated on. So I don't trust anybody. It makes me very insecure.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
With me being insecure.
I'm sorry. I need to rewind this again because it sounded like she said they've been married for a year, but they have 2 boys and she's pregnant now. So I'm counting. Is that what she said? I'm going to rewind back to the beginning again. The math ain't adding up. Hold on. Okay.
Me and my husband have been married for a year. We have 2 boys and another baby on the way. And Jeff has cheated on me before. Not to mention that the last relationships that I've had in the past, I've always been cheated on. So I don't trust anybody. It makes me very insecure. With me being insecure, when he's not around me, I check his location on my phone. And I'll pick fights with him when he goes to his family's house so that he'll come home, because when he comes home, that's when I feel the most secure. Not to mention we live with my parents right now. It's putting a lot of tension on our sex life, which is pretty much very quiet. And so I just want to know what I need to do to start trusting him.
Well, James, what do you think is going on here?
You know, I got to tell you, this is one of the hardest things a couple could ever deal with. You know, trust issues and infidelity, cheating, it's the #1 reason why people end up in my office.
You know what? I'm sorry.
You made a decision.
I'm sorry. I need to rewind this again because, you know what? When I do these reaction videos, it's like I really have to absorb what's going on. Let me rewind this one more time because I need to hear the stuff that she's saying because I'm picking up on some craziness. Her husband is living with her and her parents. The only time that she can trust him is when she has him in her sight and she has mobile trackers on his phone. I need to understand what it is that I'm watching. I'm sorry. We're going to go right back to the beginning. Here we go.
Me and my husband have been married for a year. We have 2 boys and another baby on the way. And Jeff has cheated on me before. Not to mention that the last relationships that I've had in the past, I've always been cheated on. So I don't trust anybody. It makes me very insecure. With me being insecure, when he's not around me, I check his location on my phone. And I'll pick fights with him when he goes to his family's house so that he'll come home, because when he comes home, that's when I feel the most secure. Not to mention we live with my parents right now. It's putting a lot of tension on our sex life, which is pretty much very quiet. And so I just want to know what I need to do to start trusting him.
Well, James, what do you
Hold
think
on.
is going on here?
You know,
I'm sorry. I'm not going to rewind it again, but I need to just jump in here. Ladies, what are we doing? What in the hell are we doing? What are we doing? She sitting up there, belly full of baby, with this glassy-eyed, brown-irised man. I'm talking about the whites of his eyes. Look at the polluted whites of his eyes. It's not even bright. The fire done dole out to the man. Big old pregnant belly standing up there with this man in a baggy suit, looking at her like, what's happening? How did I get here? I just... living with their parents, and then the audience start laughing, and then she's like trying to make a joke out of it. I'm like, pretty quiet. So you got some man laying up in your parents' house, banging you out, impregnating you, somebody that you've been married to for a year? 1 year. 2.5 children, or 2 children and 1 on the way. How did she get married to this man? He's cheated on her. When? When you were engaged? When? After you got married, you two are newlyweds. The bumbo Patagonia. I don't understand this. So I'm trying to do the math on this. It takes 9 months for a baby to come out. They already got 2 of them. So she had this man who could not afford to take care of his house and home, pump her full of babies, squirting all his unprotected semen up inside of her, impregnating her, tying her down with 2, now 1 on the way, as he sits up there as a grown man on TV, not able to take care of his house and home, that he got a woman up on TV. Not only is she having to track him, you know what? Hold on, let me see what these people got to say, because I'm sorry, this is aggravating to me. I'm trying to do the math on this. I'm trying to, those gifts with the numbers and everything just flying around in the air. I'm trying to figure out why she married into this struggle love and allowed this man to knock her up once again. So that this bum. Let me listen to what the hosts have to say. All right, let's see.
I tell you, this is one of the hardest things a couple could ever deal with. You know, trust issues and infidelity, cheating, it's the #1 reason why people end up in my office. You've made a decision, and the decision you made is to stay with this man after he cheated on you. And, you know, that's a tough decision, and that's a decision a lot of people try to make, and they're not successful in making, right?
Right.
But you know, you have children with him, you have another baby on the way, so I know that you have a lot of reasons why you're going to try to work with him on it. But trust is fundamental to a marriage. You will not have a successful marriage if there is not trust there. So you have to make a conscious choice. Okay, I'm going to be able to trust him again, and you're going to have to find a way to get to that place. Now, I got to say, though, my issue is more with you, sir, and I'm not trying to pile on to you here, okay, because it takes a lot of bravery to say the things the 2 of you have said in this room full of people. But I got to tell you something. She shouldn't have to check up on you. You should be getting ahead of this, man. She forgave you. This woman took you back and moved forward with you and said, I love you so much that I'm going to stay with you after you betrayed me. She should never have to look at your location services. You get to the office. Hey, baby, just got to the office. Just wanted to say I love you. Hey, babe, just leaving the office now and heading home. Just wanted to let you know I was on my way. What does that take, 5 seconds?
He does that.
She's not worth... Good. All right, excellent.
He does.
Then you know what? That's even better news, because that tells me he's being proactive. Yeah. So if he takes those steps, this is on you, man. I got to tell you, she's done the hard work. She's taking you back. She's trying to put it down.
First of all, this guy, to come on national TV with his wife, say what he said, and still be standing here, I got to tell you, that's major.
Big time.
But you should go and talk to someone.
I do. I need some help.
Therapy is very useful because sometimes you have to hear yourself in a non-biased atmosphere say some things out loud so they can regurgitate it back to you and get your feelings on it to help you work through.
Right.
My producers are going to help set up therapy for you.
Okay.
And it won't cost you anything.
Thank you.
All right, up next, what would you do when your bedroom preferences are causing conflict in your marriage?
Oh, my Lord of mercy. Did I just hear what I thought I heard? I'm sorry. Did you all hear what I... God, help me, please. I don't understand. I don't understand. You know what? Look, videos are sponsored by my self-love affirmations workbook. If you find that you have a recurring pattern in your relationships, cheating, abuse, lack of trust, anxiety, if you see that you have a pattern, there is something about your energy that is calling forth for healing. Please listen to that which is calling forth for you to pay attention to. My book of affirmation self-love, it's a full color guide and workbook where you actually just simply rewrite the sentences in the book. They're worded with neuro-linguistic programming, linguistics to alter the neurons, to shift the neurons of your brain and rewire you for self-love. We're going to get back to the book. I'm going to put the link below for how you can get it. And this is not just for people who know that they have self-love issues. We all could be loving ourselves more. And you know what? Did you all hear what I heard? They're recommending therapy. They're congratulating him. Oh, it's good you up here on this show. You sitting up here. It's good to say what you said and still be standing here. Kudos to you. And then the other co-host. I'm not trying to pile on top of you. Really, he needs to be piled on top of. He needs a blanket party. He needs someone to come in with a burlap sack put over his head and then just start wailing. He about done with blues. This just doesn't make any sense. So this is what I'm hearing, and tell me if you've heard the same thing too. He cheated on her. She decided to marry him. They got 2 kids and 1 on the way. He's sitting up there, a man in an empty suit, glassy-eyed, beige irises, khaki-colored irises. Eyes wildly looking around, thinking that this is some sort of joke, funny. And then they say, oh, you need to check in. And say, oh, I just made it to the office. Oh, you check in with the warden, of course. Of course. Because it's not possible for him to cheat after he's called. And then she comes up. It's like we try to validate our reality. She's like, he does that. He does that. So obviously there's a deeper issue that's going on with his behavior. There's something else happening. And they don't recommend counsel's coupling. They don't recommend counsel's therapy. They recommend therapy for her to get over the insecurity and anxiety that she has after dealing with this man who has cheated on her and continues to pump community penis and rancid semen inside of her. Maybe that was too graphic. Maybe that was too graphic. Retract the last few sentences. I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. You know what? But the video's going on, so we got 6 more minutes left on the video. So let me just try to figure this out and just give whatever advice or reaction I can give. All right. It takes 2 people to make a relationship because you are relating to that other person. Relating. She doesn't trust him for a reason. The man has already cheated. And if you look at him smirking and smiling up, first of all, she doesn't trust him. Now, I'm not even just talking about the infidelity. She doesn't trust him because he is not trustworthy. He has not demonstrated that he has, as a man, has the ability to protect her. They're living with his parents. He is not upholding his duty as an egg fertilizer. Sperm fertilizes eggs. She did not get pregnant on her own. So this person is over there shooting out a loaded penis up until they're complaining about not being able to have more sex. Girl, you already got 3 kids by this bum. So he's over there squaring. How many of you want to imagine that those are not his only 2 children? This man is suffering from a lack of self-worth and a lack of self-love, so that he's looking for validation in the punani of other people. He's looking for validation in the bodies of other women instead of loving, honoring, and cherishing the relationship that he does have. He's bringing outside people into this relationship, and she's finding out about it. And from the look on his face, it doesn't look like he even quite has stopped with the infidelity. So, okay, so you could call a person. I got into the office. Be pleased. He looked like he work in an office. All right. I just got to the car wash. So I'm about to start washing cars. God, I'm rude. I'm rude and ignorant. I'm sorry. But there are ample opportunities to cheat even after you call and check in. There's an energy, there's a vibration that's not going on. So now they're going to tell her to go to therapy so that she could get rid of the anxiety to say something out loud to a person. Yes, you know what, you're doggone right. Yes, she needs to say out loud to somebody, I let this bum squirt up in me, impregnate me, and tie me down with all his bum batter babies, right? I've married him. He's cheated on me, and I am continuing to try to figure out how to make this work. Definitely, you're right. She does need some sort of therapy, because at the end of the day, is it really about him? Listen, he needs therapy too. He wants a relationship that is going to be able to last. However, she seems to be the one who is all about trying to get this relationship to continue forward. So, by all means. And I'm hoping that once she gets therapy, that she's able to shift out of a relationship like this and shift into a relationship that's loving. First of all, loving yourself by being with a person who's healthy. This man is not healthy. He's not bringing healthy love. We want to talk about how men are the leaders of the house. What is he? Where's he? This is the Titanic. Where's he leading her to? What type of leadership is this? Leadership that starts with and ends with fidelity? Infidelity? Come on. This is the leader? A person who got you living up in the mama house? You're living in your mama's house with him and your 2 kids and one on the doggone way? And he's sitting up there in an empty suit, baggy, blowing in the wind as he's clasping his hands in front of him, looking around like something funny. And she's defending this love. You damn right. She needs to, look, I don't have much more to say. I feel like I'm repeating the same things over and over. Love yourself first. When you love yourself and that self-love is in alignment on the inside, the outside reflects that. I'm talking about financially, with your body, with your relationships, with your peace of mind inside of your head, what your job looks like, what the relationship you have with your job, how happy you are, the emotions that you feel. I saw this documentary called Happy. And in the documentary Happy, it said that our emotions emit chemicals. Like, we are made up of these chemicals. Our emotions emit chemicals, and we become addicted to the chemicals, the constant surge of similar chemicals. If there's anybody in healthcare, you know about homeostasis, the body's need to want to stay the same. This is what regulates our temperature. It's what regulates our heartbeat. All of this, just the sameness, wanting to stay the same. We become addicted to our emotions. She's become addicted to this suffering. She's become addicted to this story, and she can't see her way out of it. She can't shift. And listen, I'm telling you, it's difficult to shift, to pivot, when all you see around you is an affirming truth. Because if that is the truth, then what is there to shift to? You have to realize that there may be a different truth. You know what? One of the best things that my parents ever did for me was get me to start traveling by the time I was 6 years old. Because when I left the United States and I went into another country and I saw, look, there's a different way that things can be, I began to question everything. I went back to school in the Bronx and I began to question, do things have to be this way? I started to grow up, and then I left the Bronx and I went to school in Brooklyn, and I began to see differences in cultures, and I questioned, do things have to be this way? And so We have got to be able to see a horizon outside of what it is that we know, a way of being. Because if this is all that we know, if our patterns, listen, human beings, we run these scripts and these programs. I don't know how many of you have ever seen this show out there, Westworld. It's an amazingly deep show, but I'm telling you, you have to be thinking at a certain level in order, when it's blowing out there, you have to be thinking at a certain level in order to be able to see the layers that are being put out to you in this very deep show. It can seem like it's just entertainment, but there are a lot of mini lessons and undertone lessons inside that piece. So in the show Westworld, it talks about one of the biggest questions that I see and that I'm contemplating is how much of who we are is programming. And as a certified clinical hypnotherapist, I can tell you that we as human beings, we run scripts. And just like a computer will only do what it is programmed to do. It does not have a consciousness to think outside of that programming. And when that programming is running in your subconscious, you cannot think outside of that program unless you get wind, because we do have we have consciousness and free will. Unless you get wind that there may be a different reality just over there. Because it's like Plato's allegory of cave, wasn't it? It's just like Plato's allegory of cave. When you see, this is all the picture that you see. That's all you see. And that's all you know there to be. But when you see more of the picture, when you get more experiences, when you come into contact with different people, that's when you begin to contemplate. Do things have to be this way? Is there another way that things could be? And I'm going to pose that question for you. We went a little over our 20 minutes today, but I'm going to pose a question for you. The way that your life is going right now, because listen, it's easy to sit down on our bottoms and look at this woman and say, oh, she has an issue, she has a problem. But what about your life? And the scripts that are running in your life? What are the things that you could be doing in a different way? What could you be doing in a different way? How much of what you see is reality versus your reality? How much? How much? How much? And what are you willing to do to shift? What are you willing to do to make that shift? Because it's like she's standing there. She cannot see outside of her reality. Just like, listen, I was in a certain reality myself, even as successful as I was. I never allowed myself to make more than $25,000 in 1 month. I couldn't see outside of, and I kept wondering why that number. And it was when I was preparing for doing this book. When I was preparing for doing this book, when I was doing my affirmations, right, I was doing this technique that helped me come upon this number, 25,000. Why? And then I realized that's what my mother made yearly salary. I've never allowed myself to make more than $25,000 in 1 month because my reality began to shift and tilt and quiver. I was like, I can't make more in a month than my mother made in a year. And then I myself, there was another number. I had never allowed myself to have more than $60,000 in cash. I'd never allowed myself. I would spend it. I would invest in it. I would never allow myself. And then when I was doing the technique that I was doing, and that's going to be in an upcoming book, when I was doing the technique, I realized, you know what? This is what my father made in a year when I was younger. And I was like, I could never allow myself to hold on to more than $60,000 cash. And it was I myself on the mental plane that I am on. There were still little things, little divots, little programming that was in there that was hampering me. that was altering my reality, and I did not even realize it. I had to turn an eye to it. What things are you not realizing? What things are you not realizing that needs to shift? My book of affirmation, self-love, is a workbook that will allow you to create that shift. Now, you know I care about you. And I wrote this book because of the amount of people that I was coaching and rewriting the script of through hypnotherapy. I realized that there were things that we need to do as people to create that shift and that pivot, to be able to see and be like, do things have to be this way? So get your copy. Listen, I was just approved by Amazon, and I'm sending my inventory over to Amazon. You have two choices, right? You can get the book now. You can get the book now, and I'm autographing the books. Or you can wait, and you can get it off of Amazon, in which case I would not be autographing it, and I don't know what they're going to set the price at on Amazon. So you can get the book now for $20 from me on my website, and it is a full-color book with passages in there that help you see different parts of your life. The exercises are so beautiful. I have my book by my bed. There's a technique. I have instructions in there on how you do it. So I have mine by my bed. Otherwise, I would show you how I write in mine. And even now, even though I wrote the book, just going through it brings me to tears. Brings me to tears sometimes. Not sad tears, healing tears. The tears that come when you release. The tears that come when you have this buildup and you need to just decompress the buildup. And when those tears flow down, it's replaced by something else. There's a shift that happens. And you all have seen me. Listen, you have seen my own energy shift. Come along the journey with me. Don't let me be the only person heading there while you're staying where it is that you are. Shift with me. Shift with me, because I am in the process of shifting into an abundance the likes of which I have never yet known. Shift with me. Listen, I love you all very, very much. Go out there and love one another, but most importantly, what? Listen, most importantly, what? Love yourself. Love yourself. And part of loving yourself is questioning what you have come to know as reality. Shift. And I am in the process of writing the 6-step shift to self-love. So this is the workbook that rewires your subconscious program. I'm currently writing a full book with paragraphs and words and all that. This is more of a workbook for you to do the work. So both of those books will work in tandem. And then the other books that I'm thinking of coming out with, when you all give me feedback and I figure out more and more ways to be able to assist you all, I will create more ways to be able to assist you. I'm also on my website. There are MP3s that you can get to be able to forgive, to be able to release, to be able to relax, to be able to shift that way. And I'm going to be doing, my next MP3 is going to be on inner child work. And you know what? I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get out of the video. I feel so privileged to be able to assist people, not just make videos and just talk, but to be able to assist people and being able to create that change, being able to create that shift on the inside, so that I don't just sit up here and say, oh, make a shift, but I actually give you tools, MP3s, books, workshops. So look on my website for my tour dates, because I'm going to start doing these workshops and I'm going to be traveling worldwide. So this is what I'm saying. If you want to get your book from me now so that you can have it now with my signature, my autograph, or whatever. Otherwise, you just have to get it off of Amazon while I'm traveling. All right. I don't expect to really hold any inventory except for when I'm doing workshops. So on that note, listen, I'm going to get out of here. Tonya TKO, and I love you very, very much. Peace.